Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I have got game number 1 of what I believe is a best of 3, but I'm not sure if it's a best of 5. But yeah, we'll find that out in the near future. But anyway, it is a cool game. It is super exciting because it is between two absolute powerhouse players, and I have no shadow of a doubt that this is going to be anything less than an exceptional series. And well, the reason for that is because of who the two players are. Now they're spawning on Belshir Vestige, and up in the top left position, spawning as the blue Protoss player, he represents Azubu. It is San. And his opponent down in the bottom right, the red Zerg player from Team MVP. It is Dongregu. So these two are pretty spectacular. I think it's fair to say that they are brilliantly talented, just amazingly good players, and that means everything that we're going to see today should be fairly good and very exciting. So I hope you all are ready. Of course, if you do enjoy the games, make sure that you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe, because I get new games up every single day of the week and you would not want to miss one because they're all pretty cool. I only cast mainly, well, I say only cast, I mainly cast pro games, so definitely worthwhile taking a little peek at that. Now, at the moment, we got San. He's going for that nice simple gateway expand here, all very normal stuff. Belshir does have quite a wide ramp outside the natural base, so getting down that gateway first just means that you're a little bit more safe. You can still get the expansion, it's fractionally later, but this has a knock-on effect to Dongregu's play. He's got to make sure that he doesn't try and rush down that third, but instead just plays things a little bit more safe, and maybe getting the third around the kind of 6 minutes 30 mark is generally a good point to be throwing that down. We've got the two gases, or sorry, one gas at the moment from San. No second gas for the moment. This is a little bit more of an unusual playstyle. Most Protoss players grab this second gas and put 2 probes in each. San opting just to get 3 probes in a single assimilator. This is going to have a knock-on effect of basically the mothership core will be a little bit later, and key tech structures could be slightly delayed, assuming of course this is still just going to be a gateway expand. There's also the option for the second gas to get taken, 3 probes to be put in there very early on, and this to be some kind of funky one-base play, but one-base plays against Zerg aren't that common. If this was PvT, then definitely something that I might be more looking forward to. But anyway, Extractor coming down here from DRG, he's just going to be doing things fairly normal. He's seen that there's no expansion. That's what triggered the gas. No expansion equals it's a gateway expand. I need gas to at least get stimmed down. The Overlord's also taking a good little path around, making sure nothing too bad's happening. But for the moment, the probe just going to come down here. Sands at 300 minerals, so he's going to have a brief pause before he can throw down that Nexus. But it should get started really quite early on, and indeed, there we go. It is now getting started there. We've got Warp Gate tech on its way. No mothership core yet. The Zealot also wasn't skipped. This is actually quite a big thing that the Zealot wasn't skipped, because a lot of Protoss players will start that and then cancel it, assuming they don't get attacked, because, well, I guess they're safe, so they want to get that extra 100 minerals to be used elsewhere. It means that by not skipping that Zealot, this Nexus was fractionally later than it could have been, but it does mean that San is slightly safer from, say, 4 Zerglings trying to run in and kill some probes. Queen here is going to force back a single probe for the time being. We can see the gas is still, well, was being mined until, of course, it hit just over 100, and then DRG pulled all 3 drones out. Going to transfer those down towards the natural, because already 16 drones mining from the mineral patches in the main, so good saturation there. The probe's just going to take a quick little look, make sure there's no third or any hidden base down there, and just going to sit around and wait, prepared to chuck down a proxy pylon if needed. 2 additional gateways coming down behind this for Sam. This is going to mean that he's really just in a position where, well, with 2 additional gates, he shouldn't have that much to worry about in terms of dealing with pressure, but he's also got the option to get some tech out. But unfortunately for him, his probe has been spotted. Zealot's going to come and try and save it. Will manage to do so with the aid of the mothership core, then the third hatchery is now looking a little bit exposed, and this third was pretty damn early actually, went about 5 minutes 10, so a bit sooner than you usually see. Luckily though, for DRG, he's only got to deal with these 2 gates. His Overlord have seen 2, but nothing else. Doesn't know that this Stargate's getting thrown down behind it, so a couple more Lings coming out. They really want to take out this pylon, because while that proxy's up, there's the risk that this is going to become a 4-gate delayed pressure play, and that would be very difficult to deal with. The Zealot going to try and come back here. A nice little warp in shows that there's 3 warp pins available. Is the pylon going to be able to get taken down? Yes, it will. So now it is only these 4 Zealots and the mothership core in order to stop. However, another proxy is on its way, because the probe was still allowed to survive. A couple more Lings coming down from behind. The speed just kicking in for DRG at the moment. But what is he going to be able to do? He needs to shut down this pylon for all the aforementioned reasons, that you just don't want more units getting warped in, but it is able to get secured. The mothership core really aiding, and DRG looking to be in a little bit of problems because he's not going to be able to probably hold this hatchery. Look at the amount of damage being done. Will allow it to complete. Going to just try and do something. The speedlings coming in will attempt to knock out this pylon, but the mothership core just working away at them. A queen even being brought down. But that queen alone is not able to save the hatch. The zealots can now just walk back. There is enough energy for a mass recall if required, and therefore the zealots really shouldn't have too much to worry about. A lot of these lings trading very cost ineffectively. Behind this, we do have an oracle coming out, a time warp being used just to surround this queen, and look at it, two-shotted by that many zealots. So of course now, with one queen down, there is still two available to inject, and that's the important thing. But DRG playing the smart game, expanding out towards this kind of 5th base location, the opposite side of the map, and saying, well, maybe you won't scout here, maybe I'll get away with it, you'll get a little bit of full sense of security, but unfortunately an oracle is heading pretty damn close to it. Is the oracle going to be able to see that the hatchery is down? The answer is yes, it will. Very important scout there, just got it by like a single pixel. So while this pylon's coming down, the zealots are still moving in and forward. There's a lot of zerglings out. That means the DRG's drone count is very low at the moment. The oracle gonna start working away at this queen. Can take it out if it wants to, but just needs to be careful that it doesn't take too much damage. There was, I believe, a mass recall, so those zealots are getting out of there, and Overlord gets picked off by the Phoenix. But all in all, we can see that only 4 workers were killed, but a hatchery was annihilated. And more importantly than that, we saw that a lot of zerglings have been forced. So a counterattack is now en route. There are sentries there, so force fields can be utilized if needed, and that is precisely what we're going to be seeing here. The zealots not in the best spot, need a bit more range units in order to deal with these zerglings as quickly as they can. More force fields will be required. Unfortunately, not enough energy for a Photon overcharge, but still enough DPS, range DPS, to force these zerglings back, especially the Void Ray coming out. The gateways were starting to get a little bit low, but it would be very unlikely that we'd see DRG be able to punch through there. But DRG, he's just finished up his Hydra Den, so he's going to be getting out some Hydralisks. The Roche Warren was completely skipped, so he's just going to go Ling Hydra, which against this composition of a very gateway-centric force out of San, it should work really quite nicely, as long as there's nothing too scary coming out. As long as there's, say, no storms or no colossi, Ling Hydra is a very effective playstyle. The only concern I've got at the moment for DRG is the fact that +1 is nearly completed for San, whereas DRG is yet to start any upgrades at all, and that's because he's very low on drones, still only up to 54. His third just starting now to get saturated up. He's trying to take these additional gas geysers, still missing a gas in the main, so he's currently sitting on those 3 gas, pumping a lot of Hydralisks, is playing quite aggressively at the moment. But as we see, San trying to move out of his natural base. He's got a lot of zealots in this composition, and once that +1 kicks in, which is literally about 7 seconds away, that is when he's able to 2-shot zerglings, a very potent mark where suddenly these zealots will tear through nearly anything. More pylons trying to come down. These zealots are getting warped in. The zerglings gonna be forced to retreat, to be honest. There's just too many units there at the moment, but what it has done is bought a bit of time. A Void Ray, and with this composition, makes things quite a bit more scary actually, because can really focus down with good DPS, things like the Spine Crawlers, while the ground army deals with the spores and the queens. So very, very important moment at the moment for Dongwei Gu. Is he going to be able to hold this off? We can see that a good positioning coming down from Sam. Great force fields, zoning out a lot of these Hydras, but for the moment the Zealots not able to close down the distance. That means a lot of these sentries taking a considerable amount of fire, but both the Void Ray and quite a few of the sentries surviving with minimal health. But is it going to be enough for Dongwei Gu to be able to pick that off? No, it will not. GG is called, and San takes game number 1 of this series. So if you enjoyed that, remember, like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe, and then I'll see you at game number 2, which is on my channel in just a couple of seconds. Catch you there.